You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey all, welcome back to another Friday edition of Cards to the Moon. This is episode 317, and my name is Clark from 5cardguys.com, and you can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, and on Facebook at 5cardguys. Alright, another solo intro today, but I do have a guest interview that I'll play for you in just a minute. His name is Humi, and it's actually a shortened form of his full name, which he said I wouldn't be able to pronounce correctly. And when he told me his full name, he was absolutely right. I wasn't able to, but he was okay with Humi, and he's actually the founder of Hobbycon, which if you're in the GTA, you might have already attended. It actually hasn't been around for even a full year yet, but they've already had multiple shows in multiple cities, so it's great to have a chat with him about his card show and just his thoughts on the proliferation of card shows lately because of this recent hobby boom. But before we get into that interview, I did want to tease a new series that we're launching this coming Tuesday, September 23rd. And the podcast series is called Breaking Ground, where I endeavor to interview some of the successful entrepreneurs, content creators, and innovators in the hobby. But rather than just playing a straight interview as we do for our regular episodes, I really wanted to tell their story in a more narrative fashion, which I find a little more engaging personally. And I was also able to get a little more detail about the person themselves and their journey of how they got to where they are, and then finally looking into the future of what they think is in store for the card industry. So like I said, our first episode in the Breaking Ground series is dropping on Tuesday. You don't want to miss it. And if you haven't already, check out the teaser video on our IG page at 5cardguys, FIVECARDGUIS, or at Cards to the Moon, all one word, where you'll see who our first guest is. Okay, that's it for me. Short and sweet. Now, let's play the interview I had earlier this week with Humi. Enjoy. Hey guys, we got another special guest on the pod today. His name is Humi, and he is the founder of a card show called Hobbycon. And one thing I found really impressive about Hobbycon is just a number of shows they put on throughout the year, and not just in one location, but all across Canada. So I wanted to connect with Humi to talk about the show, but also about the trading card market overall, maybe dive a bit deeper into the TCG card market, which continues to be red hot, and his thoughts on whether he sees that cooling down anytime soon. So without further ado, Humi, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Clark, for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm glad you reached out. We're just talking off air and yeah, just how busy it's been. And I know you've been certainly busy with all the card shows that you're putting on. But before we get into talking about the card show itself, and I know you got a couple coming up this weekend, Humi, can you tell us about yourself as a collector? You know, what do you collect and when did you really get into it?
Honestly speaking, I used to collect Pokemon cards when the first edition Charizards, the first edition packs came out. It's back in 96, 97, And at that time, we didn't know the Pokemon was going to go up like this crazy. We used to tie them up
Mhm.
with rubber bands. You know,
Oh, did you?
yeah, we had ancient Mews, first edition Charizards and rubber bands, stacked in a cupboard somewhere and all that. But honestly speaking, like I regret that, and some of my cards my mom threw away. So I'm from that era. So
Hmm.
as you grow older, as time progresses, you actually sometimes grow out of the hobby. So I grew out of the hobby. I
Right.
actually came back a year and a half ago. My son, who has autism, his name is Abdul Hai, and he loves Pokemon cards. He loves all type of like video games, anime, Pokemon cards. So one time he like a year and a half ago he was like, "Daddy, can you just take me to there's a one local shop here?" So he's like,
Hmm.
"Daddy, could you take me in to buy some Pokemon cards?" So I was like, I was so weirded out. I was like, I was gonna be the only guy there, old guy, old brown guy there, and it's gonna be so weird. Like, what am I gonna do there? So once I got into the store, Clark, it was a different scenario than what I had imagined in my mind. We had people like in turbans playing like Pokemon cards. We had people from different cultures playing Pokemon cards, and we had we had so many. We had a tournament going on that day, so I was just
Yep.
blown away. Like, hobby doesn't have an age. Hobby doesn't have a, have a different has a particular description. It's just something you collect, and slowly and gradually, we started like we started like I started like collecting again. The
Hmm.
first Pokemon actually purchase I made a year and a half ago. You'll be surprised. Is that tag team Pikachu and what is it called? Pikachu. This is a tag team Pikachu. Forgot the name. It was like $300 back then.
Right.
PSA 10. I'll get the name. I forgot the name on top of my head.
That's
Uh,
okay.
um, that card is now worth $1,200.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
it's
crazy.
it's insane. Like, you can't like I come from a financial background. I have a bachelor's in marketing and a bachelor's in finance. I was born in Dubai, and I finished
Hmm.
my education in Florida, and I was a banker in Dubai. So no, like Pokemon is a asset class in itself.
Yes.
That's what really struck the most out of the whole process. Like, yeah, it's nostalgic, it's fun, it's good, but Clark, like, it has given you 400% more return than Nasdaq and Dow.
Yeah. No, I think I saw that
Yes.
stat somewhere.
Yeah, that
It's.
it's insane. So it's a good way of how times are tough right now. Not
Hmm.
everybody can save. This is a good way of saving, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
that's what got me back into the hobby, get back into collecting, was my son, and all of these fun facts that's attached to Pokemon.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I love seeing the diversity within the collectors, for sure. You mentioned you went to school in Florida, and then you were born in Dubai, and now you're settled in Canada. Is that right?
Yes, I am. I went to school in Florida, and I
Yeah.
was born in Abu Dhabi, to be precise, is the capital city.
Hmm. Yep.
And yes, I am an immigrant to Canada, this lovely country, proud Canadian citizen. Okay.
Awesome. You and me both,
Yes.
as a fellow immigrant as well. But, like, and you're just talking about Pokemon as an asset class. So obviously you're taking it more seriously after your son pretty much introduced you back into the hobby.
Yeah.
Is this your full time job now, or are you doing
Uh,
something on
so
the side?
so we have a chain of cell phone stores. It's called Selfix Expert.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we do that on the side, but I've not been to my show, not been to in my shops in the last 2 months, last 3 months. So
Right. Because
honestly,
of the,
yeah, it's impossible. So I
yeah.
have a very good team who runs that, and I just manage them over the phone, over like FaceTime or whatever. But
Yeah.
and this is what I'm doing full time. Yes.
Okay. And the reason why I asked you that, and I think I saw in one of your YouTube videos, and it was a funny story where when you decided to take this more seriously, devote more time to it, and you just mentioned that you're in your mid 30s. What did your family and friends think when you're like, I'm going all in on this?
They thought I was crazy. My father, like, we come from a very traditional background.
Yeah.
So my father was like, "Beta Beta means my son. My son, are you okay? Like, like, are you having a midlife crisis? What's going on?" I was like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing? Think about your daughter. Think about your daughters. Think about your son. Like, all the emotional blackmail you can think of coming from an immigrant family was
Yes.
all like, like bombarded on me. Like, what are you
Mm,
doing? You have a wife. Your children need you. I was like, Dad, don't worry, I got this.
yeah.
And then I just went all in.
And have they changed their mind at all, or are they, you're trying to still convince them at this point?
Okay, can I tell you a very one of the very, very, like true, like, deepening stories that I had in this whole journey. My
Hmm.
father is a typical Pakistani. Like, bro, like, this guy is Pakistani to the bone.
Okay.
you know like
Yeah.
like no emotions, never held my hand when I was a young when I was younger. Never
Yeah.
said I love you, never said I'm proud of
Right.
you. But he loved me, obviously. Like, he paid for my
Sure.
education, he did everything. He provided I was spoiled as hell, like, he gave me everything. But he
Mm,
never showed me that emotional side of himself. So when
mm,
I had the first Hobbycon, and he saw the line outside my show,
mhm.
I saw my dad cry for the first time.
Wow.
you
That's
know
amazing.
for the
Yeah.
first time in his life, he cried. And he said, "I'm very proud of you." First time.
Amazing.
This was one thing, as a as a son of a Pakistani traditional man. Like, I craved all my life, and that
Mm.
one day I got it.
There you go. And it was all because of Hobbycon. That's
Yes.
an amazing story. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes,
And
brother.
I was just gonna say, your dad sounds like a Korean dad, so I think there's a lot of similarities there too. But let's talk about Hobbycon because that's why I really want to chat with you. When did you start running these shows? Like, when did it all begin?
Last November, December, actually. I did a show with another person, and
Hmm.
then we evolved. Like, I wanted to do my own kind of a thing, so I started doing my own. I built my own brand called Hobbycon, and in last actually February 8th was our first show. So February, March, April, May, June, July, August. I'm 8 months old.
Wow, I can't believe that.
Yeah, I can't believe that too. 8 months old, and we've by the end of this month we would have been done 24 shows.
24. That's
24
crazy.
shows all over Canada,
Yeah.
including two in Winnipeg, including three voice actresses, Jason Page,
Hmm.
all of that in 8 months.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that too. All in 8 months, how are you able to get some of the voice actors, obviously, that any Pokemon fan will know? How did you scale so quickly?
I just went all in, brother. Like, with the kind of person I am, I'd never have plan B, C, D, E, nothing. I only have plan A. And with
Right.
this plan A, I just go all in, brother. Look, this life is short, Clark, okay? I am
Hmm.
35-year old. Allah will give me another 40 years to live, 50 years to live. We all gotta die. Okay? If we don't take chances, if we don't take, like, risk, like, what's the purpose of living? This is if I never if I gave into what my father was saying, my family was saying, I would never be able to do this. I just never plan nothing in my life, ever. I just go
Yeah.
all in. If I tomorrow I decide to do something, I'll just go ahead and do it. What's the worst gonna happen? I'll fail, no problem.
Right.
I'll get back up and do it again.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good philosophy to live by for sure. Yeah, um, but I'm curious even about the more about the specifics of the show. Just getting those bigger guests to come. Was it easy to reach out to them and they're receptive, or did it take a time? Did it take a while?
Everything is easy once you pay them.
Okay,
It's
understood.
super easy to get anybody. You can probably get John Travolta to come to your shows if the
Right,
if the price is right, right? It's very
fair,
easy.
fair.
But because whatever savings I had, whatever I earned from the business, whatever I invested everything back.
Right.
I like, I keep my shows free. So
Yeah,
you have these collector con type uh, experiences for not paying me a dollar.
hmm.
And from all of this, actually, from, like, I on top of that 10% of my profits I
Hmm.
donate to Jake's House charity, which is an autism charity.
Mm,
And they are financially struggling a lot right now, and they can't even afford to have employees on their roster right now. So I actually pay them to come to my shows to collect donations for them.
mm. That's great.
but but this is only because I just kept going you know
Yeah, and I was going to ask you about that because I did notice that you keep all the shows free in terms of entrance fees. But how are you able to secure some of these bigger venues that host these shows? Is it through vendor table sales only? Is it through sponsors? Is it through your savings? All of the above?
all of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. The sponsors just came in recently, to be very honest. Before
Mm,
that, I was just doing me. Whatever I felt like doing, I did. Honestly speaking, I like the venue, I just took it. And I have everybody have skills. everybody have like positive and negatives.
Yeah.
I think I have a very good personal relationship skill, and I developed good friends, and all of these venues now that I work with are all of my friends.
Oh wow, that's great. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
connections certainly help, and relationship building certainly helps.
hundred
Um,
percent.
and you know, I mentioned off the top, you've been to different cities across the country. Can you list some of the cities that you've been to already,
Oh
and
my god.
what was the attendance like for in each of these cities?
Okay, so let me just Mississauga is always awesome.
Yep.
Then I have Vaughan, which is always good as well.
Hmm.
I have smaller cities like Guelph, Waterloo,
Yep.
which are pretty decent. London was a little slower for us, to be very honest.
Hmm.
Then we had Brampton, which was okay. Then we had Ottawa. Ottawa is amazing. I really like Ottawa.
Hmm.
Ottawa brings a lot of people from Montreal side. Like they don't have English cards, so
Yep.
they come in to buy a lot of English cards from Ottawa. A lot of people from Montreal come to Ottawa for card shows, to be very
Yep.
honest.
Mm.
So I like Ottawa, and Winnipeg was insane.
Yeah.
Like out of
Why?
all, you got like my vendors that I take from Toronto
Yeah.
to Winnipeg, they have record breaking sales when they go to Winnipeg.
I'm curious. Why Winnipeg? It seems like a random city.
It's like dropping an atom bomb in Amos Town.
Okay.
It's like they don't have this.
Right.
They don't have anything of this nature, of this scale in Winnipeg, and everybody is Pokemon hungry there. So it's when we do shows there, it's crazy, brother.
How did you know there was a like a strong card community in Winnipeg?
I didn't actually. That's what I was saying. I had no clue. I just had family there. I
Oh,
was
I
thinking
see.
I was thinking about going somewhere.
Yeah.
So Winnipeg was like, what, let's just try Winnipeg. I just I got into a flight, went to Winnipeg,
Yeah.
did a trade night, and made some friends, and just it was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, and then you've been there multiple times now, right? Is that right?
I've been there 4 times.
Okay. that's,
Yeah.
no, that's great. I'm sure you know when you host these shows across the country in these different cities, especially in smaller cities. Can you tell me some of the challenges that you have to deal with, and you know when you put on these multiple shows in multiple cities?
Challenges in what sense?
Is there anything you run into that you didn't expect in terms of setting up shows, or has it gone fairly smoothly?
Honestly, when I set up these shows in different cities and stuff,
Yeah.
I always worry sometimes about the attendance,
Right.
because doing multiple shows sometimes,
Hmm.
the attendance probably shivers a little bit. But we keep the shows so like in different cities and that. So we try to promote as much as we can, and so far we have had no challenges as per se. But the only challenge I would say is that fatigue that we've been facing,
Mm.
as because I have 4 kids, man. I have
Right.
I have a very supporting wife, but sometimes she becomes very unsupportive too. Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
That's understood. Yeah.
Okay. So I like it's just sometimes it's very tough on us, brother.
Yeah.
It's like
Personally.
I kid you not. Like when I have back-to-back shows, I sometimes don't sleep for 3 days.
Mm. Wow.
It's very, 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 very tiring. You know, but it's fun.
That's what keeps you going. Yeah. No, I certainly could understand that. One of the challenges I thought you might have, and maybe it's not an issue, but I've realized, I'm sure a lot of people realize that because of the Pokemon card market, because of the TCG card market blowing up, there's a lot more shows that are popping up. Not just Hobbycon. You know, I just went to VonCon a few weeks ago, or a month ago now, with a couple of friends that set up at those shows. Of course, you got the expo twice a year. Do you see that as competition, or do you see that as good overall for the hobby, having all these shows?
Honestly speaking, Clark, like I was explaining to you about Pokemon being an
Yeah.
asset class. Um, it's just because the pool is becoming bigger.
Mm,
The pool is when you have a higher amount of people in the pool, it's better, like for the hobby, to be very honest.
yep.
There's we this allows a lot of, times are so tough, Clark. This is the reason we are the original people in Ontario who
Hmm.
started free shows. So what we basically have come across is that this creates a lot of a lot of entrepreneurship in people, a lot of positivity in the community, and it's just a lot of people are, it's a second income from them too. So having more competition is never bad. It's actually very good because it just means the hobby is growing, the asset class is growing, and yeah, it's never bad to have too many shows. To be very honest, competition is always healthy and always good, in my
No,
opinion.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. With all the different shows, what do you think makes Hobbycon stand out from others?
I openly advocate about supporting an autism charity.
Right.
I have a very good relationship with the charitable organization I work with. They actually come to my shows. We give them 10% of our profits. A lot of people are concerned about how much this 10% of profit is. I'm never gonna tell them. Okay, it's between me. It's between me and them. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's the we this keeps us very different from other shows because my show has a purpose. My purpose is not to yeah, there's a financial reason for everything, obviously, but this is not my purpose. I was financially okay before Hobbycon too.
Hmm.
So but my initial stage, my initial reasoning of starting Hobbycon was I wanted to be a cool dad.
Hmm.
To be very honest,
Yep.
I wanted to donate to something which is very close to me, which is my son being autistic, like an autism charity. We found an autism charity. We try to advocate for this charity, like promote this autism charity as
Hmm.
much as we can, and we try to keep the shows free. We have people come in. I don't collect a dollar of charity from nobody. Everybody donates to them directly.
Right.
I don't collect from my vendors. I don't collect from the people. I donate from whatever I earn.
Hmm.
And this is something. This is a business which I have with God, and this is something nobody can take away from Hobbycon.
No, that's great to hear. Yeah, again, great cause, and one of the things I saw in the bio of Hobbycon on your Instagram page was just raising awareness for autism, and obviously with your personal connection to it, was cool to see.
It is. Sorry to cut you off.
Yep.
It is. People don't understand, like, how people perceive autism in different cultures. Like me being Pakistani. When my parents heard about my son being autistic, or my wife's parents heard about my child being autistic, uh, they didn't quite fathom what it was. They just thought something's wrong with my son. He will
Hmm.
never be normal. All these kind of things that
Sure.
come in their mind. So I always pray to God, if ever I get a platform or something to connect with my son, I'm always going to do something that is beneficial for him. And Hobbycon has been very beneficial in raising awareness for autism. I sometimes do skits. I go to Danda Square
Hmm.
and hold signs and like talk to people about autism. So yeah, we try to pr- uh, talk about autism because a lot of these autistic children and are the cards are very something, the shiny part of the card, the texture of
Yep.
the cards. It's very interesting for these neurodivergent kids, and yeah, man, we just try to do good.
Awesome, man. Has your son gone to any of your Hobbycon shows?
He has actually, we do so many of them.
Yeah.
So he has been to some of them. It becomes very hectic at my shows, to be
Right.
very
Right.
honest, and it becomes sometimes very a
A
lot
little
of
too much.
a lot of noise,
Right.
and he gets a little amped up with all the noise and stuff. So whenever he can, I invite him, and he comes and he has a good time. I have to pay a lot of money on the cards he like, but
Right. That's a
but
given.
yeah, but he loves it.
Awesome. Yeah, this episode's going to air on Friday, and I know you got a couple of shows coming up this weekend, so you want to kind of give people a heads up about where those shows are, and
Sure.
where can people find information on future events that will be taking place.
Everything is on our Instagram and on our website, hobbyconevents.com.
Yep.
We are coming to Ottawa. It is Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Mosaic Convention Center. completely free again. And we and oh, one more thing we do with our shows, we give out so many giveaways. So we have like each show around $500 to $1,000 plus giveaways, which is giveaway to people.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have a show coming on Saturday in Ottawa, and on Sunday we have a show coming in Vaughan, Ontario, in Venu Event Space. That's
Hmm.
10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's a bigger show, around 170 plus tables. It's gonna be fun. So I invite you, Clark, to come also as well.
Try
Join
my
us.
best. Yeah. Yeah, definitely the one in Vaughan for sure. I'll try my best. Yeah, that's amazing. Humi, again, thanks for your time. Appreciate your insight into the hobby. And yeah, Hobbycon certainly seems like a great show. I got to check it out at least once.
Can I ask you a question too, as well?
Yeah, of course.
What do you collect?
I collect primarily sports cards, baseball cards, but it's funny you mentioned how your son introduced you to Pokemon. I have an 8-year-old, and he got into Pokemon a couple years ago. And I know I'm 47, so I kind of missed that initial Pokemon card era. I was a little bit older, but I've come into it full swing because of my son as well. So now I know like a lot more characters than I used to, and even a year ago. So I primarily collect sports cards still, but lately I've been ripping a lot of Pokemon boxes. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my God,
It's fun.
you're becoming one of those.
I don't know what that means, but
Oh my
rippers.
God, man! You stop ripping packs, brother.
It's gambling. I understand, but just like gambling, there's a entertainment component as long as I keep everything in check, right?
What was the last pack you ripped?
The Black Bolt. The ROI was miserable.
Horrible, brother.
Yeah.
Horrible, brother.
So, but I do have sealed wax. I have a couple of prismatic evolutions I'm keeping sealed for now. Yeah, so I'm just a collector as well.
Okay. What does your collection look like right now in Pokemon?
In Pokemon, I don't have that many. I just got the Jungle Edition, first edition Pikachu. So
Oh,
I'm just looking at more at vintage these days.
okay.
That's more appealing to me, at least.
Yeah, vintage is definitely more expensive too.
Now it is, yeah.
It
When I
is.
first got into it, I was like, why aren't people picking these up? And then of course, I didn't do anything about it. Now it's doubled in price, right, over the last year. So it's crazy.
I invite you to Hobbycon to rip some packs with me.
Okay, that'll be fun. I'm down for ripping packs anytime. So yeah, that'll be amazing.
Whenever you can come, bring your children, no worries, and let's rip some packs.
All right, if I'm there, I'll seek you out for sure. But yeah, thanks Humi for coming on. Really appreciate your time once again.
Thank you, Clark, for having me, and I hope you have a blessed day, brother.
Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.